Okay, hi guys. I look nuts. I decided to film this week and film last week, so I have my coffee. We're gonna get the fuck into it today. This is how I record my podcast. If you guys want like behind the scenes, this is how I've always recorded my podcast. Maybe one day I will record it differently, but that day is not today. So this is a caramel macchiato with coconut milk. My Starbucks order. I look nuts. I'm wearing all orange, but different oranges. Yeah. So this is really this is the vibe. I used to actually, when I first recorded my podcast, when I first started recording Tea with TDC, which backstory, that was my first podcast that I did a couple years ago. I used to go under my comforter because there was a lot of vents in my room, and I would literally just take my thing and go like this, basically like talk right into it. So yeah, is the audio perfect? No, but I think it works. So, anywho, we're gonna get right into it today. I'm gonna go ahead and start this recording, and let's see what fucking comes of this, okay? I'm like nervous. I get nervous every time. Fuck. Alright, welcome back, guys, to the Human Experience podcast. My name's Lides. I'm behind God Complex, the company, and I'm super excited to have you guys here for another episode of this podcast. Really questionable concept this week that we're going to be talking about, which is, I'll just kind of kick right off here, is tarot toxic? Now, I kind of want to give a bit of a backstory on why I'm talking about this. So I have been, this is going to sound really stupid, but I've been a medium. I've practiced mediumship, should I say, for approximately, I've had a tarot business for, I don't even know, since like 2019, I believe I started my tarot business. I don't know if anybody knows for sure. 2019, I'm pretty sure. And anyways, I read tarot for people, and I basically was able to connect in with people's past loved ones and relay messages. I'm able to do it without the tarot cards now as well. And yeah, I've been doing that for forever. I've actually built up a pretty strong client base, and that's kind of where God Complex started, is in my tarot business and being able to read for people and basically being a medium, for lack of a better term. And so the concept that I want to talk about today is tarot toxic, which is pretty fucked up because it's like, didn't you just say that you, yep, 100%. So what do I mean by that? I mean to say that in a lot of the work that I'm doing right now, I'm kind of realizing that tarot can be a super helpful tool, but can also enable a lot of toxicity in terms of like wanting clarity on shit that's not clear yet. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm getting at here? Like, when we're asking for clarity from spirit or what have you, we're asking for shit to be known which we don't know yet, which is fucked up because the whole point of not knowing is sitting through that not knowing so that we can find that clarity through not knowing. Not knowing is the whole point of the work. I'll get into that in a second, but I kind of just realized that through doing tarot readings, not only for clients, but for myself, I'm enabling everyone to ask for answers that we don't need yet, that we're not supposed to have yet. I mean, hey, I think that it can be a really beautiful thing, and I'm going to talk about why it can be super awesome. But then I also want to talk about the fact that it can be not super awesome at all, and can be super, it can just enable us and honestly fuck up our work a little bit, our spiritual growth work. So first and foremost, why is it helpful? Well, I got into tarot because I couldn't quite hear spirit's messages myself. I've always been able to connect with spirit but it's super hard for me to do it without the tarot, or it was, okay? So when I started tarot, it was just like with a couple oracle cards, and then I got myself a tarot deck, and I would just shuffle through the cards and I would just let them drop. And I would honestly read them just as they come. Like when I saw a tarot card, I would be like, oh, that's, you know, that means this. And, but I also kind of found my own interpretation to it, which I told a lot of people to do as well. Because my biggest thing for anybody looking to get into spirituality, into, you know, understanding themselves and hearing from spirit and everything like that, is through tarot. And I don't honestly know, I kind of want your guys' feedback, honestly, because I want to open up this conversation, because I don't know if that is the right thing to do anymore. Okay? Like, because of everything I'm kind of coming to understand now. So tarot, you know, you drop a card and you can kind of feel the energy of the card. You can use the meaning and what spirit means by that. And hey, you could not even believe in spirit, and that's totally fine as well. But tarot is a fad right now. A lot of people are into tarot. And I think it's because it has this energy of like bringing clarity to your life. But I don't know that clarity is what we're supposed to be after. This is kind of a message that I'm getting for the past couple of weeks, maybe even months now. And it's actually funny, a bit of backstory. I've had to actually turn off my reading business several times throughout the past couple years of doing it. Even though like a bunch of people have wanted readings, I've just had to turn it off because it becomes so draining that I start to get panic attacks going into readings. I'm starting to understand that that's probably because I'm not supposed to be doing that. Anytime that I get super anxious like that, it's typically because I'm not supposed to be doing something that I'm pouring myself into, right? I don't know if anybody else feels like that, but that's definitely me. And every time I start really rocking and rolling with my reading business, I just feel like, wait a second, this isn't right. And it's not to say that readings haven't been helpful, because I've changed people's lives. I changed my own life with tarot. So I think that there's a point in which it can become very, very helpful for somebody, especially starting out. But I think that there's a time in which you have to graduate from the teaching. That's in everything in life. There's a time where anything that was once helpful becomes or can become an addiction, and we have to graduate from that even. Right? So I don't even know if I'm making any sense here, but that's kind of what I've been coming to understand. So I looked at tarot, and it's this awesome thing that's helped me to hear from spirit and understand, you know, maybe which way I'm supposed to go in life or all this sort of stuff. And that can be helpful in getting yourself out of a really dark place, right? But then when you continue to use it, it can become almost like an addiction. A bit of a case study here for you guys. Even during my readings, I was doing them for myself. And there was a point where I would pull cards for myself every single day. No questions asked. Every single day I would pull cards for myself because I wanted to know what spirit had to say for me. I didn't care about what I wanted to do that day. Right? I just cared about what spirit wanted me to do that day. And through that work, I lost myself completely. Like, what the hell? I wasn't deciding on what I wanted to do with my life or what was going to come through or what I was manifesting or this, that, the other thing. I was literally just allowing spirit to tell me where to go, tell me what to do. And it actually fucked up a lot of my trust in myself. Does that make sense? Like, I think that I would rather fuck up but trust myself or learn to trust myself than feel like, no, I'm not going to choose the right thing, so I want to trust spirit instead. I don't know what's happening, but spirit does, so I'm gonna hear from spirit. That just sounds so wrong to me now. Does that make sense? It just sounds so fucked up to me now. So in kind of coming to this understanding for myself and for, my clients as well, I was like, wait a second. So I guess this is my formal, I'm not doing tarot anymore, ever again sort of post. Which is sad because, like I said, there's a lot of beauty to tarot. I've predicted a lot of people's babies. I've predicted a lot of people's, relationships, and that's been all really beautiful. But you know what? You all would have gotten into those relationships and had those babies even without me telling you. And there was probably a lesson in there that I kept you from learning because I told you what was going to happen. I brought you that clarity. The reality is that I can feel what's going to happen. You can probably feel what's going to happen too. There's a place beyond, and this is something that I'm working a lot on right now and actually creating a lot of content around for you guys, but there's a place beyond our human self that just knows. That's what mediumship is. It's just connecting into that place, connecting into our oneness. Mediumship is not a thing that we are, and maybe I can go into that a little bit as well. I'm going to get a bit far out in this episode, but mediumship isn't something that you are, it's something that you're able to connect into, and every single person on the face of the planet Earth is able to connect into mediumship, able to connect into the other side or spirit, because we all have this thing in us. I call it the God self, or God, if you want to just call it God. You can call it spirit, you can call it soul, whatever the fuck you want to call it, doesn't really matter. That place in us, and just follow along here with me, if you will, that place in us is what connects into those who no longer have a body, those who do have a body but are not, we're not connecting into their body, we're connecting into their soul, right? We're all connected by this one thing. It's also what animals have and plants have and living things have that we're able to connect into. Everybody's able to connect into it. It's not a thing that I'm able to connect into that other people can't. And so when tarot becomes helpful, I think, is when we allow people to connect into that for themselves and use tarot cards to start to talk to that place within themselves. Start to almost turn on their mediumship, if you want to label it. You know what I mean? I think that's where tarot can get super duper helpful. Where it gets unhelpful is twofold. First and foremost, when we take that practice for ourselves to an addictive level. I got fully addicted to tarot, 100%. And it took my trust out of myself and into something external from myself. And that's completely against everything I believe in and all the work that I'm trying to do, which is tuning into self, going into self, finding peace within self, right? I feel like that's the goal for me anyways. I don't know about you guys. And clarity blocks that. Does that make sense? That's, I think, what I'm getting at here, which is kind of the most fucked up part of it all, is that really what I'm saying here is exactly what you think I'm saying. Clarity is not something that we should be after. Because tarot will bring you clarity. Tarot will bring you clarity. No questions about that. The place in you that can connect into spirit, because it is spirit, is the same place in me that connects into spirit because I am spirit. And in that place, there is clarity. Because it knows, and the human drama is the human drama that we're living in. And the spirit, the soul, the oneness, it knows. It just knows. It knows when the baby's going to come in because it is the baby. It knows when the person that passed away that no longer has a body, it's able to connect to the other souls because it's a soul now without a body. Does this may make no fucking sense, but that place is clarity. Connecting into that from a human space is fine, is totally fine, when we're connecting into it for ourselves. When we're asking someone outside of ourselves to connect into that for us, it's almost like saying, I am not that. I do not have a connection to spirit. I don't have a birthright connection to God. I am not God, you are God. And so I can't connect into that place, and I can't connect into my own clarity, and I need you in order to find clarity. And I will not feed into that. I will not feed into that. I will never, ever, 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 ever want to feed into my clients or anyone on this earth feeling like I can connect into something that they can't. I will never feed into that. And that's where I feel that tarot has become very toxic. Because, and mediumship and spirituality in general. This is actually getting me super frustrated, because it's as though spiritual people who have been able to connect into this, they have developed this sort of feeling of like, yeah, you gotta come to me so that I can give you the clarity. No, I want to turn you back to yourself. I want to turn you back to yourself. If you need to use tarot cards in order to feel for yourself what's coming through and find some clarity within yourself and almost talk to yourself and develop relationship with your own spirit, go for it. Go for it. Be wary of the addiction side of it, and we'll get into that in a second, back into that in a second, but I don't want anyone thinking that they have to come to me because I have a connection that they don't. It's our birthright that we connect in. We are all God. We are all Om. We are all spirit, whether we have a body or we don't, right? And so that's really frustrating to me that the spiritual community, myself fucking included, needs to kind of wake up to this idea that, yeah, services are great, but we want to be sure that we're turning people towards themselves, towards finding peace, finding clarity, finding knowing within themselves. That's the whole point of spirituality. Otherwise, it becomes a religion. And this might be a touchy subject. I'm probably going to get shit on for this, but a religion is where people, look at someone or something or a text or a teaching outside of themselves that tells them what to do, and so their spirituality, their peace becomes passive. Ooh, their peace becomes passive outside of themselves. The spiritual journey is finding peace within self. And so we gotta turn people around back to themselves. When they come to us for spiritual teachings, for spiritual knowings, we gotta turn them back onto themselves and say, no, you got this. You go. You do your thing. You know more than I do about your spiritual journey. But the thing is that people want clarity. And this is the next thing. People want clarity. That's understandable. I want clarity. I'm a fucking human. 100%. Issue being is that in lack of clarity, that's where peace is found. That's my true belief. Is that when we do not have clarity and we can sit through that and still feel okay, when we come out of that place of fuck fear, we can come into a place of, wait, I'm okay. There's this underlying peace even in that chaos of no clarity. That is peace almost like everlasting. That's gonna stick with you. That's the shit that we need to be looking for. And so I hate that tarot brings us that clarity in those moments of fear. You see what I'm saying? We're asking spirit, we're asking knowing to bring us clarity, which it can. But we're abusing it because we're asking for it right in the times when we could be finding peace. Here's the thing, I'm going to get really far out for a second. Our human illusion is what's creating that fear, right? Whatever bullshit we're going through in that moment, it's fake, it's temporary, we're going to die, and that's all well and good. But we really think it's real. And so we're feeding into it, and then we're bringing spirit into it by saying, I need clarity in this moment, and you're entitled to give it to me. Whoa! We're giving our humans way too much pull. I think in those moments we need to start sitting with our shit. I think we need to start feeling through those moments of I'm terrified. Because when we say, I'm terrified, I need clarity, that says, yeah, you're right to feel terrified. This is real. This is really gonna kill you. This is gonna fuck you up. This life is as serious as you're making it. It's as real as you're making it. Death is as real as you're making it. And yeah, this is all you, dude. And you fucked up. And this is the end of the world. You're feeding it. You're feeding that illusion. And so you're pulling yourself further from truth, from peace, by asking for clarity, right? So that tarot becomes not only an addiction, not only asking for someone outside of yourself to help you, even beyond that, even if it's just you doing it for yourself. And I know I just said, hey, it could be a really beautiful thing, because everything's got a flip side to it, and I can try to see both flip sides to everything. But I think that I'm leaning towards the idea that tarot is toxic because it's asking for clarity, and in those moments of no clarity, that's exactly when we find peace. Those are the portals. We're literally fucking ourselves up. We're asking for peace. We are asking for clarity because we think clarity will bring us peace. That's where we're fucking up. You see what I'm saying? We're literally fucking up by saying, oh yeah, the way to find peace is clarity. No. Not having clarity, sitting through it. That's where you find the peace. So we're literally going the wrong direction. We're literally taking a wrong turn. And I'm enabling that as a tarot reader. I'm enabling that as a medium for people. I'm not saying that there's not, and I hope that you guys understand this, I'm not saying that there's not beauty in it. There's absolutely beauty in it. Connecting in with spirit is life-changing, and I think everyone should do it at some point in their life. Because it's not always about finding peace. Sometimes it's about fucking up. Sometimes it's about taking the wrong turn. So connect in with spirit. Utilize the tarot, right? I'm sure you love this podcast because I consistently contradict myself. It's like a brain fuck anytime. But there's beauty in it. There's beauty in talking to your past loved ones. There's beauty in connecting in with spirit. There's beauty in pulling a card and being like, oh my God, this is real. Oh my God, I'm more than my human self. There's more than me to this world. There's so much beauty. It's crucial. There's so much beauty in that. So get the deck. So pull cards for yourself. But first and foremost, don't let it become an addiction. Don't start pulling out of fear, of needing. Don't start grasping. Second, I don't know about asking other people for readings. And I'm the first person to say it's really hard to read yourself. It is really hard to read yourself. But I think that's the point. I think that's a good thing. Because of course other people can read you. They can connect into the collective energy that is knowing. So can you. So can you. So I feel like asking other people for tarot readings, and this is annoying because I'm kind of fucking over a lot of people's really great businesses. So if you want to see a tarot reader, do. Again, if you want clarity, find clarity. I'm just bringing it to your attention that I think it could be blocking us from finding peace. I think that it's blocked me from finding peace for a long time, you know? It's important that we understand what it really is. And tarot is a phenomenal tool. It shows us that there is more to us than our human selves. It shows us that there's so much more than what our human bodies can perceive. And that's really valuable because it allows us to move through life and say, well, wait a second. I don't have to be in this human illusion. That's beautiful. A lot of people are using it to wake up. But if you stay using the tool, then you're not going to stay awake. It becomes an addiction. Any tool, this is really important, any tool that you use, especially in spiritual seeking, to seek spirituality, especially if it's outside of yourself, which is all tools, then it's great to wake up, but you have to let it go in order to stay awake. You have to understand that the tool is not what is awake. You are awake. Does that make any fucking sense? You are awake. It's not the tool that woke you up. The tool activated something, but you woke up. And so you need to follow that awakenedness, that consciousness within yourself. And so utilizing tarot and stuff like that to connect in with spirit, use it to begin with. Use it to understand that there's so much more to us than what meets the eye. But then graduate from the tool, graduate from that place. And even graduate from things that bring you clarity. That's the tempting thing, right? Is when we know that there is clarity there, when we know that our past loved ones are able to connect in with us, when we know that, we're able to know what's going to happen next, we want that. That becomes an addiction. That becomes like, ooh, sticky fingers. I really want that. Because it's a lot easier to feel like I know. It's a lot more safe. It quells my anxieties. But the anxiety is the fucking portal. We're trying to be unhuman in a human existence, in a human experience. We're trying to do the things and we become obsessed with the things that are beyond humanity. Meanwhile, our human experience is the portal. Our anxiety, our lack of clarity, our lack of knowing, that's the portal to all of your best spiritual growth. That's literally what I'm making a lot of content and a lot of really cool stuff on right now. So stay tuned for that. But that's something that I kind of came to understand the other day, is that, wait a second, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't make any sense. I'm using tarot to try to get to this place, and no. It's taking me down the wrong road. Which is all well and good as long as we know that it's taking us down the wrong road. Because a lot of people think that tarot is what's going to get you there. Same way as people think mediumship or crystals or meditating to connect in with yada yada yada. They think that's what's going to get you there. Astrology too. God, I love it all. I'm hippie number one. But that's keeping me from the actual work, which is my truth. And beyond all, we want peace, no? You want happiness, you want bliss, you want peace, no? Right. And maybe not happiness, because happiness, it's subjective. But you want peace, you want bliss. That's what you're looking for, hey? Are we not all looking for a bit of peace? That's what I always say anyways. If you're not, hey, fuck, that's cool. I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to chat with you and see where you're at, because that sounds awesome that you're not even looking for peace. But if you are looking for a bit of peace, bit of happiness, bit of bliss, then yeah, we're all in the same boat. And I'm trying to get myself there and try to, take you guys along with me. And so when I find things like this where I'm like, oh shit, I think I've been taking a wrong turn, and I give up that wrong turn and I go straight and I realize, yep, should have just gone straight this whole time. I try to relay that message to you guys. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. If you are a tarot reader, if you are someone that is in tarot, I would love to know your thoughts on this, whether that be on Instagram, Heal with GC, or on YouTube, or we're going to have a membership community in the new year, so maybe we can chat there. Wherever you want to contact us at God Complex, do, because I'd love to hear your opinions. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be pretty pissed about this one, because God, the clarity that can come from tarot is addicting, trust me. But I don't think it's the point. And if you're open to it, see about giving it up. See about giving up the tarot. And it's not to say that you can't use it in your life again. Once you give up the addiction, you can bring back the thing that you were addicted to, and you don't have to be addicted to it anymore, right? So you can use tarot again, but if you have that place where you need clarity, we don't need clarity. We're all going to be okay. Anyways, guys, that is the episode for this week. That was a bit of a rant, but it's a rant that's been cooking in me for a while now, and I've just been really ready to say it. So if you were wondering if God Complex tarot readings were going to come back, that might be your answer. I don't know what services are going to come back specifically, because we had a couple. I'm really sorry that tarot readings aren't going to come back, because I know how life-changing that they have been for people. But I want to turn you guys towards yourself. through those moments are such beautiful moments. And in those moments, I shouldn't be giving you clarity. I should be helping you walk through that portal to your own peace. I shouldn't be enabling your fear. I shouldn't be telling you what you want to know, you know? I shouldn't be telling you things as if I know things or as if anything like that. We should be helping you walk through that portal of, yeah, you're in fear right now and that's okay. Let's work through that instead. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. You can check this out on YouTube if you're listening to it on Spotify or whatever. And if you're watching this on YouTube, check us out on Spotify. Instagram, Heal with GC. I love you all so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Okay, done. Click done. And that's it. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you liked that episode. That was pretty like off the fucking cuff. That was pretty like stressful to even say because I feel like there's so many people that are building such amazing businesses around tarot and bringing so much clarity to people. But when I see something and I get a feeling and a message from the collective energy of Om that I can connect to and that you can connect to, that makes me feel like the spiritual community is separating themselves from people that are not connected in with their God self yet, that turns me off. I don't love that. It doesn't make me feel good things, right? So I want to kind of catch that before we go too far. So I hope you guys liked that episode. And yeah, we'll chat soon. Love you guys.